Mother-in-law. Okay. So in my first part of my two-part series, I talked about kind of the reasons why the relationship with a son-in-law tends to be less strained than with a daughter-in-law for mother-in-laws. And so I kind of explained the reasons about how kind of the genetic survival of the human species, talking about that competition for time and attention, and then lastly about that expectations. Unhappiness and disappointment often happens when we have an idea of what that relationship should look like. So it's about removing those expectations. I'm going to talk about what kind of mother-in-law that I want to be. My kids are under 5. My son is like 9 months old and my daughter is 4. So I've got some time before that happens, and obviously this whole entire video and this segment is assuming that they're both heterosexual and they decide to get married and eventually have kids. So I'm getting idealistic about this, right? I mean, that's what my hope is, and it kind of goes against my realistic beliefs, but aligns with my optimistic mindset. Okay, so I'm kind of justifying here. But anyway, I want to think about this because without hope and faith, there's only doom and gloom. And I don't believe in hope. Like, I don't believe in just hope for the best and prepare for the worst, right? What I like to do is prepare for the best. And because I believe the best will happen, I'm optimistic in that way. But I know if the worst happens, I have the hope and the confidence in that my life, the life experience I will have had to that point will provide me with enough resilience to deal with it and to manage whatever crap life throws at me. And so I have about 30 or so years to prepare for this glorious day that I become a mother-in-law. And, you know, like, in 30 years, a lot can happen. That's like almost my entire life. And perhaps during that time, from now until then, I will have changed my mind. And maybe the social landscape will have changed and polyamorous relationships is the norm. Like, it's become mainstream to have, you know, multiple marriages at the same time. Like, anyone can marry anyone and more than anyone. And folks just have multiple sets of in-laws. And I'm just one of like many, you know, like one big happy, right? But, you know, like, until then, this is kind of the kind of mother-in-law that I want to be. It's an opportunity for that time to come for me to, if it means eating my words, then I'm going to have to eat my words and say, like, I was wrong. I'm not, like, I can't deal with this, or I'm going to have to find some way to manage what I thought I would be versus what I am at that moment. I will be proud of my son and confident in his decision. I raised him, my work is done. He's an adult, he's full grown, responsible, and accountable to himself. So, like, whoever he decides to marry, he's the one who lives with it. Like, with a lot of his decisions. I'm going to stay open-minded. I'm a very open-minded person. So I'm not too, like, worried that I'm going to be closed-minded. I'm hoping I'll stay open-minded I've been open-minded up until this point in my life. I'm hoping that just gets more distilled and I become even more open-minded when I'm like 65 or whatever. I'm not going to make snide, passive-aggressive comments about his wife, okay? And, like, I'm not criticize who she is, what she does, what she says, how she dresses. Like, oh my God. He chose her. And he doesn't need to justify his reasons. He doesn't need to go like, oh, but, you know, by the way, she does like Chinese food, right? Like, I'm just like, I don't fucking care. And, like, it's like with all the other aspects of his life, right? His career, his health, his lifestyle, the way he spends his money, whatever, right? He's an adult. He owns those decisions, and I want him to feel empowered to control his own destiny. Like, he is in control of his own destiny. And so, and by having that mindset and letting go, it will allow me to sleep soundly when my time comes to die, right? To leave Earth. The second thing, I will respect the relationship that between my son and my wife. Like, there'll be no guilt tripping. I hate guilt trippers. Just, ugh. There'll be no buildup of resentment. I'll try my best to, like, not let those little things, right? And I will be direct with my feelings, but I will empathize with them, right? Like, it's like I will share with him how I feel without an expectation that he will fulfill my request. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to understand, like at this moment, I'm a young married couple, right? I'm in a young married couple, whatever young married couple age is, but like I'll understand how busy it is for young married couples because I will have gone through it myself. And I won't hold a grudge if he can't make whatever thing I set out for him to make, right? To come to whatever event or gathering, whatever I invited him to. And like my son and my daughter-in-law and their future kids are not my social circle. You know what I mean? And they're a part of it. Well, definitely a part of my social circle. But in the future, I'm hoping my social circle is going to be pretty like robust, right? Having some time being an empty nester, being able to like rekindle some relationships and friendships that I've had. Obviously, online community. You know, so things like I would say would be like, you know, I'd love to spend some time with you and your wife. Let me know. Let me know when you guys are free. Like, that's it. Like, it won't be like, it's like, oh, you know, I'd love to spend some time with you. Or like, I've been very lonely lately. And, you know, things like that just guilt trip and aren't actually direct with your feelings. Or, you know, oh, I need help with this. And it's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be direct and be like, I'd love to spend some time with you. Let me know when you guys are free. Or, hey, your dad and I are going to check out this new restaurant. Thought you guys would want to come. Let me know if you little kids can make it, if you'd like to join us. Right? It's just kind of an open invitation. Take it or leave it. Next, I will not meddle. There will be no meddling or giving of unsolicited advice. You know, like, if he shares with me that they're fighting, right? Like, I'll emotionally validate him. I'll be like, yeah, you feeling frustrated, you're feeling, you know, anxious, or you're disappointed or whatever. But I'll stay out of it, right? Like, and only offer advice when asked. Okay, unsolicited advice is one of my big pet peeves. And my second biggest pet peeve is being a hypocrite. So I'm not going to do that. And if he complains about her, right? I'm not going to join the bash party. You know, like that's what sometimes people do, right? Like especially in this relationship with your son's marriage, it's not time to side and be like, yeah, she's not doing this for you. She's not doing, and then just get him to like really hate his wife. I'm going to remind him that this is the decision that you made, and marriage is not about sides. It's about teamwork. And you're not always right, and she's not always right, and you're not always wrong. It's not about being who's always right, who's always wrong. There's no right or wrong. There's not putting either one on a pedestal. I'm not going to say like, son, you are always right, or your daughter-in-law is right. You must treat her like gold. They're both human, right? And both of them have to put effort into their marriage to make it work. And maybe, hopefully, my book on a straight up guide to happy and healthy marriage will still be relevant in 30 years time, or I will have made multiple versions and edits to that book, and it will be like this huge anthology of tips. You know, like from what she eats, how she dresses, what she does for a living, how much she makes, oh God, like how she parents. Like, just please make me eat my words if I ever start giving unsolicited advice to my daughter-in-law about anything, okay? Like anything, like how you clean, or oh, she get a cleaner, honey. Like literally anything, you know, like I have to earn her respect. And if or when she needs my advice and wants it, then I will provide it. Next thing is, there will be no intrusion of privacy. Let's talk about privacy. That like lock me up if I ever enter another bedroom without knocking, or if you just enter it all. I do not want to see what cannot be unseen, okay? And just randomly showing up at their house without like letting them know, and just be like, hey, Miss in the neighborhood, let me in, right? Without letting them know in advance. No, not. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna send them a message, or, you know, the hologram message maybe before then. I'll be like, hey guys, I'm in the neighborhood soon. Let me know if you guys want to meet up. And then if I don't get a response, I'm gonna be like, here's their house. I'm just gonna drive right by it. I'm not gonna expect my daughter-in-law to replace me. Okay, like, God, it would be like my worst nightmare if I asked my daughter-in-law to like become his mother. Okay, like ask him to fix him. And like, basically, like, I would hate it if my daughter-in-law overfunctioned and started doing things for him he knows how to do. Like, that means, like, I didn't do a good job raising him, right? Like, I'm gonna be like, dude, you gotta do this shit for yourself. Don't get your wife to do it, you know? Like, I don't care how she cooks, cleans, does the laundry, how she organizes the house, or really if she does them at all. If she hires people to do it, or she gets my husband to do it, or her husband to do it, or doesn't do anything. Like, I just honestly, like, every family has their own way of running their household, and I'm gonna respect that. And like, if I ever start buying clothes for her to like make her look like me or dress like me, like, oh god, seriously, like, punch me in the face. I am not my daughter-in-law's mother. Okay? Like, I'm not her mom. She has a mom already. That's like, I'm gonna have to respect that relationship. Like, I'll totally welcome her into the family, like, making her feel like she's part of us, and but I'm not gonna impose my role into her life. And because I have a daughter, I have a mom. I have my own daughter, I have a mom, and that mother-daughter relationship is sacred. And this is especially true when a woman becomes a mother. She needs her mother, like her mother. Okay? So if or when that time comes and my daughter-in-law gets pregnant and gives birth, like, I'm going to respect her decision of how involved she wants me to be. Yeah, like, it's my grandkid. I totally get that. Like, it's related to me by blood. She's carrying it. But I do not have a right to have access to it. And there's an entire video series on empowering new moms. If you are a new mom or you're becoming a mom, like, please check it out. It talks about some things that you're like, about visitors, about breastfeeding. Just go check that out. Like, I'll be there with the bells I'll be there with bells on if she wants the bells and whistles. Or I'll be the silent cheerleader, patiently waiting quietly until she's ready. Okay? Next thing is, okay, this is going to be a tough one for me, but I will drop my ego if he likes her parents more than us. Okay, this is a tough one for me to swallow, because it is possible, right? It is possible that my son may get along with his wife's family more than his own parents. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm going to vow to not be jealous, okay? Maybe at first, okay? But I'll find a way to manage it, okay? And I'm talking to my future self right now. We will find a way to manage it if that happens. From compatible personalities to similar hobbies and interests, he may become friends with his in-laws, right? He may actually get along with them. And maybe the in-laws own a business that he is interested in, or they work in the same industry, have the relations in that way, or some other reason that makes them gel. But he may end up spending more time with his in-laws than with his own parents. And okay, so not side note, but like, to be honest, I'm thinking about this now and knowing who I am right now, I probably will be hurt because I was raised to compare, right? Asian parents. Oh, for the love of Asian parents, everybody got demons, right? And I will have that comparing mindset. It's ingrained in who I am, as much as I try to abolish it and scrub myself clean of comparing mentality. But I will compare. I know I will compare my relationship with my son and his family and the in-laws. Like, it's just, but I'm hopeful, right, that I will be able to manage my emotions and accept the situation, learn to have like these mechanisms that I will have and will have developed, that I will have the emotional resiliency to deal with it, if that is the situation. Next thing is, I will not force the relationship with my daughter-in-law, okay? Like, I obviously want to have a good relationship with the person my son decided to spend his life with. And possibly is the mother of my grandchildren. And I want to get to know my daughter-in-law. I want to get to know her pastimes, her likes, her dislikes, her values, her beliefs, her priorities, her story of where she came from, where she moved from, if she moved, her, her hopes, her passions, her dreams, and life lessons, and things that she's gathered so far, and why, everything. But it takes two to tango, okay? And it takes time and effort for a relationship to develop and build, and really to maintain. I mean, you can like get to know one another in the beginning and then just drift apart. And if we end up great friends, like if we end up actually being really good friends, then all the merrier. I'm gonna be so incredibly grateful, and just would thank my lucky stars that it worked out. But like, if we don't have anything in common, and it's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, and it's how it's been with my in-laws. Like, there's really not a lot that we have in common. And we're polite with each other. We say our social greetings and whatever, but it's like, it's okay if she doesn't like me. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to go above and beyond to make someone like me. It's just who I am. I'm not going to try and make her like me. I'm not going to give her gifts or excessively compliment or offer to pay for things for her or for their family, agreeing with her on everything, and really just saying no to her requests, right? Like, I'm not gonna be a people pleaser, even like with this relationship. I'm not gonna people pleaser. I'm not gonna like bend and snap. Anyway, I'm not gonna bend who I am to please someone. This is who I am, and this is who she is, and it's like accept the situation as is, and the relationship, if it is that we don't have anything in common, we don't become friends. We'll say it would be like coworkers. An entire video on that about coworkers and that in-law relationship. And my hopes is that she will do the same, right? If my, like, you know what I mean? Like, I will love her because she's family love, but there's like no need to impress me or like try to get me to like her. And she should say no to me, and she shouldn't agree with everything I say. She should be who she is and have her boundaries and keep them, and also communicate that with my son, and maintaining those boundaries and communicating them. Like, I'm going to be my authentic self. I'm going to be who I am. Authenticity is the value of mine. And as I said, as I get older, I just hope who I am just gets distilled, like the good parts that I like about myself. The distilled version of Catherine. I'm not going to be afraid of conflict, and I'm going to respectfully confront and respectfully accept confrontation if lines are crossed. And obviously I'll respectfully speak up if there's been a misunderstanding or miscommunication or disagreement, and I will not make my son like mediate our dispute. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put my son in this tough position to choose sides, and because there is no sides, right? Like, unless there's abuse occurring. Okay, that's another thing. If there is abuse, then there's definitely sides. He should choose his wife, okay? And he should choose his wife before me, because that's the person he chose to share his life with, not me. All right, my work is done. Remember that. She's his life partner. She's the mother of his kids. That's like, I'm still going to be relevant, but I'm not obsolete. But you know what I mean? So that kind of leaves me on a weird point, but those are my things that I kind of mother-in-law. This might be a never-ending reiteration of things. And I don't know if you can hear him. He is crying right now. He's probably like, Mom, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Something that's going to happen 30 years from now. I need you now. Anyway, so what is the relationship that you have with your mother-in-law, with your in-laws? Do you have this really happy relationship? Did it take work to kind of get to this point? Or do you just avoid them like the plague and you've moved halfway across the world away from them? I'd love to know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the 2-part series.